Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks DIY Garage. Well, we are about to try and put this phone holder into the wrong kind of car. It's for a Jeep, but it's not for a Jeep Liberty. It is for a
Jeep Wrangler TJ.
There you go. Anyhow, that was my wife.
Hi guys.
Anyhow, so I kind of got into this thinking I was going to be able to just put it in similar to what the Jeep is, but as you can see, we pulled this off. Yet again, you can go watch a separate video on how to get this off if you need to. Also have one about taking the surround out, which I didn't need to, but might as well do a video once you do it. Anyhow, so we got this off. And this is supposed to go on a similar mountain area as the Jeep. They have a grab handle like this, but it goes somehow around the bolt that holds this grab handle in. Well, as you can see here, it's not going to work that way with mine. So then I've started looking at this, and the easiest thing would be actually to undo whatever this bolt is holding in. Putting it here would probably be the easiest place, and it would probably work just fine. It'd be like in this area right here, like that, but it'd be a little bit further over for my wife to grab. And unfortunately, I noticed there's a little screw right here, and so if I take that screw out, drill another hole, cut this all up, I can probably make this fit here, and that little screw will hold it, as well as when this is in here, this will somewhat hold it in as well, I think. Unfortunately, she couldn't find an actual holder that would work for this one that she liked, so we're going to attempt this, see what happens. Now we need to mark this where we think we need it to be. I'm going to stick this here, and I know I'm going to have to make some marks, or some cuts actually, right here. I'm actually going to go over a little bit more. And I'm actually going to probably, because of the way this plastic piece goes here, I'm questioning whether this is going to work for sure or not, but I'm going to take this whole thing off and cut it all the way along here. So, and then that'll leave it, so I need to drill a hole in that area there, and about this far in. Nope. Somewhere in that area. Eyeball wise, I'll make it a little bigger so I can do some adjustments and move things around. Alright, I'm gonna go cut this. So I've cut this down, ground it down, messed it up, the paint, but I have not painted it yet because I need to do some fitting. I also drilled the hole there, just kind of eyeballed it. Probably should have done some more measurements, but I can always drill a little bigger hole. Now, alright. So here it is underneath. Now you do have the wire coming through here if you have the airbag. It's for the airbag light, and so you want to make sure this is not sharp at all, which I mean I can run my finger along here and not hurt anything. Second of all, it's got a pretty good sheath on it anyway, but just to make sure in case it ends up back here, the wires aren't even going to hit there, to be honest. So that's all working fine there. You might want to grind this off a little more, but I can, like I said, run my finger across here and I don't get hurt at all. It's not sharp at all. Second, this is the screw I took out and put in. You may want to put a little longer screw in there, but really this seems to be holding just fine. I'm pretty happy with that. And then we got to make sure that this goes through here. That just goes on over the top of it, and you bolt it in the way you unbolted it. Yet again, I have a video on taking this off. I do not have a video on that. I may go ahead and do a quick video on how to take the glove box out. It's pretty simple. So maybe I'll do a video on that as well in case somebody wants to know. But I'm going to go ahead and bolt this all in. I'm actually going to take that off and do a little touch-up paint on it first, so that I'm happy with it in the end. And I will be back when it's all buttoned up, said and done. In case you haven't noticed, I lost my film lady. So I'm doing this on my own, so you're kind of not getting the whole thing, but I've actually kind of stuck this on here, bolted it in here kind of the way it's supposed to be, the grab handle that is. And I've realized to get this on here. This was going to be in the way, and now I've actually bent it up, stuck that on there, and bent this around it, so now when I bring it down it even fits. So that should fit on there just fine. This will go right there like that, and we will have a cool camera mount. Now yes, it may wobble around, but they kind of all do anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Yet again, we'll test it. You'll know when I know. Luckily all the real bad spots, except for maybe here, as far as paint, is pretty well covered up, so I'm not even worried about. I'll probably still touch up the paint on it just to help, but anything I messed up wasn't too awful bad or on the other side, so worked out all right like that. I think this is going to work. I think it's going to fit the way I got it. I think it's going to actually look pretty okay. I'm happy with it. First trip was a fail, and what happened, first of all, this nut and bolt that comes with it, it falls through this hole. It's too small of a nut and bolt that comes with it to actually hold into the mount, so we had to put a washer on the other end. Well, I had my wife do that, and she tightened it as much as she could, and within just not very long at all, it fell out, came loose. And I think part of it's because of the washer, so I'm going to actually try and find a lock washer and crank on this thing as much as I can, but it doesn't normally come with that washer. And this, as you can see, will go in and out of here, as well as, I know you're going to be writing already, but this nut here also falls through there. Not as bad if you get it just right, but it really does. All right, there you go. See, it's popping through there, and you won't get it just right to where it won't pop through there. So first fail of this, and I'll have to get the information and put it down below what this is, but I think it'll still work. We just have to do a few more modifications to it, and this has nothing to do with me modifying it to fit on here. This is what you'll get when it comes. Well, I think it's on there. I was able to find a black lock washer. This is a 10 millimeter bolt or nut, and the screw here is actually a number 3 Phillips, which might be part of why my wife couldn't get it tightened very well. So you want to use a number 3 on that, and I reefed it down so it should be staying. I can move this around without it falling loose, so we'll see. We'll have to drive it around for a while, and you'll know when I know if it works next. My modified nut and bolt lock washer situation has proven to work well, as well as the modifications I made to this. And as you can see, it's kind of shaking up and down, but really when we're driving down the road it barely shakes at all. And we've actually been off-road with this thing, and it's held up really good. We were very happy with it. The other part, you'll notice this right here looks different, and that's because you just hit a button and then that one goes out, and then you put it in and it holds your cell phone. Well, the one that came with it just is a spring-loaded thing. I don't know if I can, there we go. It's just a spring-loaded thing, so I didn't find this one held my phone very well. It held, and we even used this as the one we actually used off-road, and it actually did work. I just it was harder to get the phone in to it than this one, where I can hit a little button and hook it out, put my phone in there and squeeze it closed. So this is a little bit more one-handed friendly, I guess. Anyhow, so this is the one I had in my truck. I went ahead and threw it in there. This one right here, I'll probably throw it in my truck if I need it for some reason we don't use in my truck, or we'll bring this one. It's not that hard to take off the mount, and we'll put it back in the truck if we go on a longer drive. Anyhow, pretty happy with it. Had to do lots of modifications. Definitely didn't come with all the hardware, or at least not all the proper hardware as far as that's concerned. But all in all, if you have a Jeep Liberty and you want a mount that looks a little bit maybe more like it kind of goes with the rig, to be honest, it's out of the way. I can sit here. I don't have to even think about worrying about hitting my knees or anything like that on it. My wife and I both have driven over here, and you can see and you can, you know, touch whatever you need to touch to answer. The radio actually has a speaker in it, so it's all hands-free and that kind of stuff. I'm not a big advocate of talking on the phone and driving, even with a hands-free unit, let alone if you are talking with a cell phone in your hand like a moron. In the end, it's all working. I had to definitely modify some of the hardware. It did not come with the correct hardware in my opinion, and I changed this out just because I like this one better, but this one did work. So in the end, we paid a lot of money for this little bracket and this little piece of plastic right here, but regardless, it's doing the job and we're pretty happy with it. Alright, thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.